Hello, everyone. Welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for American Horror Story Season 3 Coven. Episode 1 entitled Bitchcraft. This episode was bitchin'. So, with me I have my co-host, Omikins. I have Mike. And I'm Dom. So, guys, what are your thoughts on this premiere? This new season of American Horror Story. I know you guys are both familiar with Murder House season 1, right? But you guys didn't watch season 2, right?
No.
Which I thought so far is the weakest one, but luckily these are not shows that you need to watch every season. They're their own separate story. So, what do you guys think of the story so far?
It's looking great.
Mm-hmm. I was thoroughly, out of all the seasons, of all the shows I've watched so far this season, this premiere had me focused the entire episode.
Yeah.
And it held my attention, it kept me interested, it kept me enthralled, and it makes me excited for next week.
I wasn't sure where they were going with it at first because they started out in, 1834, and I was hoping the whole thing didn't take place in the past, like in that era, because I think I probably would have lost interest with it, but the fact that that was such a small part of the episode and they came back in modern day, that really held me there. I don't think I would have had the same feeling for this if the entire story took place back then. But I know me and Umi were actually talking about this. She was asking me if the character Kyle, I forget his name, he also played Tate in season 1. He was there, and then the girl who's Zoe on this one had also played
Violet.
Violet. Yes, that's right. In season 1, and you had asked me if they were both in season 2 and if they both had a love story kind of interest kind of thing going on in that one, which the actor who played Tate in fact was in season 2, but Violet was not. So, what are your thoughts on them reusing a lot of the same actors every season?
I like it, especially if if the director, producers, writers are comfortable with those actors and they did a great job in one season, why not reuse them?
I mean, look what Joss Whedon does. He reuses his actors all the time. If they're good actors and actresses, they can play any part and they can be amazing.
And it cuts down on casting costs and time for them because they only need to cast 1 or 2 extra roles every season. Find new actors for a couple roles. They already have everybody lined up. So it's just like, all right, we got 1 role to fill. Let's go fill that 1 role. Unlike other shows where it's like, all right, we got 30 characters we need to find people for.
Yeah, see, I don't know what it is, because I'll watch other shows. They're, and the same actor traverses either one. Smallville, we saw Jensen Ackles was on there for a little while, different things like that. But when he was on that show, I wasn't thinking Dean Winchester. I don't know why. I was thinking he's whatever character he is, and, I didn't think twice about it. But for some reason, this show, it bothers me. Because I will always see Kyle as Tate. I'm triggered. I don't know if it's the psychological part that I know that it's still American Horror Story and I want to try to hold on to some continuity between seasons, but it's just something I can't let go about it, and it actually drives me a little nuts. But
I just thought of one other good point about it. Having the same actors means that when they write a new season and write a new episode, they can actually write a few character traits tailored specifically to the actor.
Right.
So it might improve the story overall.
Yeah.
Or improve, the casting or whatever.
Yeah, we've actually seen that a few times. Some of the characters that have been through all 3 seasons, they've played drastically different roles, but they've still had this.
They fit.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, we had already talked about that. The beginning of the show opens up in 1834. We have Delphine Lalaurie. I don't even remember how it's pronounced. Lalaurie.
Delphine, French lady.
Yes, yes, Delphine, French lady. She's painting blood all over her face. it's the slaves that she has. She's cutting them. She's having her servants cut them open, drain them of their blood. It was a ritual her husband came up with. And do you think it was actually magical, or was it just kind of like this little red herring to throw us off?
I don't think the intent was magical, but the fact where she was doing it every night, it became ritual, and that's where it gained magical abilities.
I agree. Like, after making it, it's possible that she was a witch and didn't know it, or she had the gene or some kind of power in her, and by making this ritual over and over and over and over again, it did create it into a spell. And it wasn't just blood, it was ground up human organs. I think they revealed it was the pancreas of her slaves. She would cut at them and make a poultice out of them.
I don't know if necessarily... I know for that particular one it was the pancreas, but they also showed a lot of the other slaves were kind of mangled up in different places. One had his face, his eyes...
Was flayed.
Was it his eyes and his mouth was sewn shut?
Flayed.
Yeah, one guy was flaying apart, so that might have been his brain. Like, it seems like it could have been multiple different human organs. So, maybe it's got this little Jeepers Creepers vibe going to it, where the to regenerate whatever you need, like the way the creeper worked in that was, if the creeper needed eyeballs, he would find somebody and eat their eyeballs, and then his eyeballs would regenerate into whatever theirs were. Same thing if he was missing a head. He'd suck it down his neck, the same kind of thing. So maybe these organs kind of work the same way, where she's taking specific ones and she's recreating herself out of them.
That's a good possibility.
So.
Ugh.
Yummy.
So the creeper is one of Umi's favorites, right?
No.
So we'll have to go see Jeepers Creepers 3. Jeepers Threepers. That should be the name of it. But,
I don't think I've seen the second one.
The second one wasn't good. But anyway,
okay.
That's neither here nor there. So then we come back into present day, and we're introduced to Zoe, and her parents are out of town, and she sneaks in her boyfriend into the house, and they start doing the nasty, and while they're right in the middle of having sex, he just dies. What's explained to be a brain aneurysm. You see blood pouring out of his eyes, pouring out of his ears, nose, every orifice imaginable, possibly. And yeah. So you kind of see this again later in the episode where she does the same thing. Do you think she's a succubus?
A succubus is kind of different.
How so?
They're more on kind of the siren deal where they manipulate people to get into bed with them to suck life force.
So do you think that's something, a side effect that she's unaware of, that it might actually be sucking their life force out from them into her?
It's possible.
It's me. Yeah, it's a little bit more gory than you would think, but it could be a possibility.
Yeah.
Her power they haven't revealed what it technically is yet, and she's obviously not familiar with what it is yet, because it just happened accidentally when, it was her first time with her boyfriend, and she didn't see that coming.
Right.
So all she really knows is, I screw a guy, he bleeds out from the face.
Yeah. So she is later whisked off to some kind of school for witches. It's revealed that she has a witch gene in her family tree. Sometimes it skips generations. For example, her cousin doesn't have it. So she does. She goes off to the school. We're introduced to Cordelia Fox. She's the headmistress of the school, but we don't see her use any spells. She's messing around with some potions and stuff like that. So I think her specialization is in alchemy of some sort. But is she actually a witch, or do you think the gene skipped her?
If these potions do things that you couldn't normally achieve with other drugs, pharmaceuticals, or herbs, and they have a somewhat pseudo-magical nature to them, I would say that's where her magic comes in.
Yeah.
Feel the same way, Umi?
Yeah, I mean, her power is probably in when she's actually mixing them, the combinations and the outcomes, and how the magic of the potion actually reacts with a person.
Yeah. So we also, upon going into the school, we meet the other 4 girls. Misty Day. No, Misty. She's not.
No,
Misty is.
They
She
told
was
the
just
Misty
story.
Day is the headmaster's mother, right?
No,
no.
Misty Day is that girl they described. She was the the one who could resurgence was her power. She could bring the dead back to life right, at when they died, and others saw that
Oh,
as
so okay, so
necromancy.
she was one of the students. Okay.
Right, she was the one who was
No.
burnt. She wasn't one of their students. She was just a witch that was used as an example in a story that the headmistress or someone was telling. That they just found her out, and a bunch of Pentecostals took her out to a field and burned her.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting everything. It's still a new thing. I'm starting to learn all these characters. They're all messed up. So we have, Madison. She's one of them. She's telekinetic.
And
know
she's
that
a movie star, apparently.
Yes, yes, yes. She was the bitchy movie star. We have Queenie. I believe she was the heavier black girl. We see her. She starts jabbing a fork into her hand, and it's making Madison start bleeding out of her hand. Queenie can't feel anything, so it's kind of revealed her power is some kind of transference of pain and torture, so she's almost like a human voodoo doll. And Nan, who she played in season 1. She played the Down syndrome girl from the very first "You're going to die in that house" thing.
Murder
Like you see her
house, yeah.
right there. Yeah. So she returned now for season 3, and her power is clairvoyance. So
I love her, by the way. She's amazing.
she is.
Mm-hmm.
I know she, as an actress, she does a lot of Broadway plays, kind of things like that. So to see her actually get more involved in some TV work is actually kind of cool. So what were your initial impressions on these girls?
Madison hate. Hate.
The typical, snobby blonde bitch.
But is she the kind of hate that you love to hate, or you just really just can't stand her whatsoever? Did you there was a scene where some boys were taking advantage of her? Like, did you feel some kind of remorse for her?
I felt sympathetic. I felt pissed off for her. Like,
So-
I don't like that aspect of that.
So she's a character that has some kind of redeeming qualities to her. There was some you cared about her, even though she's a character you hate.
Even if my enemy had that happen to her or him or whatever, I would still feel remorse for them.
Yeah, I was more of a bitch being put in a bad, nasty situation. I didn't see any redeeming qualities come out of her at all yet. So
She does have a temper on her. She just waved her
yeah.
hand and flicked the whole bus, and there was, I think, 7 kids on the bus, and she killed all but
9.
2 of them. 9. Yeah, she
she
killed all but
7
2.
of them, and
Yeah.
She is traumatized by it, though. I mean, there's a scene where it shows her, bawling in the tub while taking a shower. So, I mean, she's not all tough and angry about everything. I think we have to warm up to her, and she has to open up a little bit more before we actually see who she really is.
Right. So what about Queenie?
not really too much shown there. She seems kind of troubled a little. I mean,
Not even no
Not
trouble.
that.
She's just fiery,
yeah.
and she's gonna stand her ground. She don't care that Madison is, the tough bitch. She's got her own power, and she's gonna make her feel it. I mean, she knows how to work it.
That she does.
Indeed.
She's the typical sassy black girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's got that sass in her.
Oh,
So then your favorite, Nan. She had quite a large role in this episode. So what were your impressions on her?
She's so sweet. And she's naturally positive no matter what situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she can always see it coming.
Yeah. Trying to think. Do they fit into any, like, we got Madison, she's the, evil, no, not evil. She's, the mean, bitchy one, and then we have Queenie, who's the tough, standard groundy one, and then you got Nan, who's the quiet, slightly odd one. But
a stereotypical sassy black girl.
Yeah, so you got a stereotypical sassy black girl, you got a stereotypical quiet odd girl, and you got a stereotypical, entitled bitch.
And Zoe, who is the stereotypical loner.
Yeah.
So they pretty much have all the dynamics covered for all these girls. So there's going to be some interesting things that they're going to be able to do together that they're only going to be able to do together. Not only for their personalities, but for their powers as well. Each of them brings a little something different to the table. Mm-hmm. So they went to this school now for learning how to use their powers and control everything. And stuff like that. But we haven't seen the school do anything for them yet, except an impromptu field trip that wasn't even approved by their headmaster. It was what's her name?
Fiona Good.
Fiona Good, yes. So Fiona just kind of swoops in. She's got some kind of relation to somebody in the school or whatever. So she is working at the school or something like that. She's got something to do with the school. I don't remember what it was.
She's the headmistress's mother.
Okay, so she is Cordelia's mother.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you said she wasn't when we were talking about that before, so now wires are all crossed. A lot to take in on this show.
We were talking about Misty when he said no. Fiona's a completely different person.
So, continuing on.
So, we haven't seen them teach anything whatsoever at this school yet. So,
not yet.
What do you expect out of this school? Like, what exactly is this academy?
They did have a sit down, and that's when they told the story of Misty Day. But that's other than, Queenie and Madison saying that, Cordelia is trying to suppress their powers. I think that's all we know about what the school has done so far.
So do you feel like the school is going to be something that more suppresses their powers than anything, or are they actually trying to help the kids control it? Is it a suppression or a control?
Probably a little bit of both.
I think the initial idea was suppression until Fiona stepped in, and then Cordelia's going to try and teach them how to control it because Fiona's just going to use them.
So, do you think Fiona's going to try to push the envelope with them while Cordelia is trying to suppress it? So they're going to have this conflict back and forth there. Definitely, that's a good dynamic to set up as well. Mm-hmm. So, Fiona Good is revealed to be a Supreme. What exactly is a Supreme Witch?
She's the Supreme. She's, it's described that a witch has a gift in, as they call it, a gift or a power, and the Supreme has all of the gifts.
All of them.
So,
was it all or just many?
All.
Okay, so she can do everything. So if she can do everything, what did she need Nan for at the end of the episode?
It's possible that although she has all of the gifts, she might not be as talented with some of them as a witch who's
specializes
purely straight one thing.
Right. She's more attuned in the darker arts where she can suck life out of people, and she's an angrier person. So something that seems as good as Nan's clairvoyancy, she probably didn't want to bother with that, or she just didn't have any interest in it. And it's a little late now. She's an old, craggy woman.
And she's obsessed with immortality. She wants to get younger again.
Right, and we actually saw she could do that temporarily.
Very temporarily.
Yeah, it lasted for like 20 seconds, something like that, even less when she used it on that episode. So we know she's of Salem descendants. Pretty much all the witches there migrated to New Orleans. But as far as her having all the gifts, what are the gifts right now? Like we already talked about, we know there's some form of necromancy up. There's telekinetic, the human voodoo doll thing, clairvoyant. Do you think there's any other gifts other than, and whatever you want to call Zoe? I call it the succubus thing, but
Oh, there's definitely going to be more gifts, more witchy powers introduced. How many we're going to go with, I have no idea. A dozen, 2 dozen, 100, 6. I don't know.
There's a lot. There's gonna be a lot, and there's gonna be more witches in the picture coming
Mm.
around. So I mean, we will find out how many more there will be, and there's probably even more that we're not gonna find out. So
Right.
Yep.
All right, so we had mentioned that the girls all went off to a party to go, have this little thing, and Madison gets slipped some kind of roofie, and she kind of loses all control of everything. A bunch of the frat boys, they pretty much run a train on her, and it was kind of a graphic scene, and they, what is it, Kyle Spencer, it kind of has a thing for Zoe, which we had mentioned they had this dynamic earlier in the first season, the two actors, and now they're back and they kind of have this short-lived little love story going on because he is actually killed moments later. So after Zoe starts looking for Madison, they discover she's upstairs in one of the bedrooms. All the frat boys and Kyle get into this big fight. They all rush out. Kyle chases after them. They get on the frat bus, take off. Madison starts coming to. She runs down the stairs, or Zoe's is the first one running down the stairs. She's chasing after the bus. The bus goes. Madison comes out of the house, and she just casually walks up to Zoe, swipes her hand, and the bus just tumbles over and kills 7 out of the 8, 9 people that were on the bus.
Tumbles over and explodes.
Yeah, it was bad. So, do you feel she was justified to kill them all off?
Justified? No, but yes. I mean, the bus wasn't full of all of her attackers. There was some innocent bystanders. Actually, a kid was trying to help, trying to stop them, trying to punish them somehow. So, I mean, probably just in her state, she was traumatized, she was drugged, she was angry, so she just said, fuck that bus.
Mm-hmm. What? Yeah. So it was a little bit overkill. What, in my opinion, was she justified in getting revenge? Yes, but she got a couple of bystanders in
Exactly.
the effect. So both yes and no. She was justified and she wasn't at the same time.
I'm pretty sure she did it out of complete rage, but she probably, with her telekinetic powers, could have pulled the bus back to her instead of flipping it and dealt with the people directly, but she probably wasn't thinking very clearly.
Either that or she just really didn't give a damn because she's come across as that kind of character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. So, during this outing that Fiona had taken the kids on, they kind of get sidetracked. They go into this other house. They're doing this thing. Fiona's trying to lure the kids to this specific spot, and it's revealed to be the house that we saw earlier in the 1834 back then. And the last we had seen of Delphine, she drank some sort of love potion that a witch had brought to her, and she completely passed out. So now we see her, or we have, what is it, Nan and Fiona are sitting out by some kind of, I don't know. I want to say a fountain, but it's not. But a garden kind of thing.
A courtyard or something like that.
And Nan is just focused on this one point in the ground, and it kind of drifts off, whatever. And then later you see Fiona go back, and she tore up the courtyard and dug up what was Delphine, her body, which, as far as we knew, she was murdered. That's what the official explanation for her death was. But it's actually revealed she's alive, and she hasn't aged at all. Mm-hmm. So, do you think that had something to do with the love potion that she drank? Was that what caused her to live, or did that just knock her out?
It goes back to the whole thing we were talking about the ritual. She was covering her face in that blood and your organ mash. to keep herself young and keep her looking young. So it's possible that there was, that witch meant to kill her because she tortured that witch's lover. So it's possible that there was some unintended side effect, like, yeah, it just knocked her out, and, that ritual of constantly putting the blood on her face actually worked. Or there's something that's yet to be revealed that happened. Because, 1834, she was a lady in her late 40s, early 50s, we would guess. And now, 180 years later, here she is, hasn't aged a day.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, there's something else there. But Fiona, you could tell Fiona definitely used Nan right there, because they had stated that nobody knew where she was buried. And then it cuts out to, Fiona going up to Nan, who's staring, just sitting there, one spot. And this kind of also leads more to Fiona's quest for immortality there. Here she has a witch who is clearly immortal, or knows the secret to youth. So they're going to go have a drink together.
Yeah. So, Umi, do you also think that it's the ritual that caused her not to age and not the love potion? Or do you think the love potion was more than just some knockout gas?
There's so many ways that could go. Yes, it goes back to the blood and it being a ritual. And, unintended. She just was doing it because her husband said that it would keep her skin tight and looking young. So it's possible that this love potion, which really was a poison, could have been a catalyst of some sort to actually activate the magic and make her immortal.
Yeah. So do you think Fiona knew of this immortality before digging her up? Do you think that's what Fiona actually wants with her? Or do you think Fiona was just more intrigued that she was still alive and do you think she was surprised that she was in there, or do you think she knew she was there?
Well, she knew she was there. She probably didn't know that she'd be still, blood pumping and, freshly pink. But
yeah, it seemed a little coincidental that Fiona is trying to suck life out of people to make herself younger, and then it just so happens that Delphine is this person that has achieved immortality, supposedly,
Right.
and just happens to find her. So, like Mike said, I think it is definitely something to do with the quest for immortality.
And it makes me think of something. She's out there in the courtyard looking. When she walks up to Nan, she goes, "What do you hear, little one?" or something like that. And and she just points. I forget if it was Nan who says it or Fiona, and she said, the owner of this place, or
the lady of the house.
Yeah, the lady of the house. So maybe maybe Fiona knew she was there, but just didn't know exactly where she was. Or, I don't know. Maybe it was Nan sitting there staring that made Fiona realize she hears a voice. There's someone there.
Yeah.
But it could go, like Omi said, it can go anywhere. Right now, we could sit here and speculate for 2 hours and probably not get it right.
Okay, go.
Yeah, okay.
No. So, overall, once again, you guys thought this was a good episode?
Oh, yeah.
2 thumbs up?
Oh, definitely.
One
2 thumbs, 2
one
toes.
thumb. No, yes, 2 thumbs. Alright. I'll give it 2. See, here's my issue with it. Just the standalone episode. Other than the fact that they're reusing the characters like I already mentioned. They seem to have set up this love story with Fiona and Kyle. And it's revealed Kyle is killed. So,
Yes.
Fiona, Zoe rather. Did I say Fiona before? I meant
Fiona.
Yeah, I meant Zoe, sorry. I'm still learning these characters. They're brand new. So, Zoe and Kyle. So, Zoe goes and finds out Kyle was killed. And she, in a fit of rage, almost in the same style as Madison, she goes to the hospital. She's looking to find out if Kyle's actually still alive. She finds out it's not. It's one of the boys that basically had raped Madison. And in kind of like a moment of rage, she gets into the bed in the hospital and starts fucking him. And all of a sudden you see the blood pouring out of his eyes, his ears, his nose, mouth, brain aneurysm again. Same thing that happened to her boyfriend. So she kills him off. So I felt a little empty with the resolution there. It seemed like Zoe's supposed to be this innocent, quiet girl that's, she was so upset when this happened to her boyfriend. And now she's kind of following in the footsteps of Madison. And that didn't feel like a good conclusion to me. And then the fact that Kyle was killed off just didn't sit right with me either, because it seemed like a very wasted part for him, like for this one-off thing. But the part that is intriguing me now is next week. The name of the episode is called Boy Parts, which Umi already has some speculation as to what that could be. No?
The only boy part I could think of at that point.
Okay, so what you actually see in the preview for the next episode, if you guys watch The Coming Attraction, you actually see Kyle in some sort of morgue, and what I believe is a bunch of the other kids that died. And they're all chopped up into different pieces, and it looks like they're all sewn together and stapled and whatnot. And the final piece that you see go on is Kyle's head. So luckily the actor will be returning, and we will probably see some more between Kyle and Zoe. We don't know if this is some kind of different spell, or if this has something to do with the resurgence ability that we've already seen before from Misty Day. I know Misty was actually seen in the preview, I believe, so we should be seeing some of her, right? Or was this a different witch?
It might have been a different witch, or they might mention her again.
Yeah.
To talk about her power or whatever.
Yeah, so as chat room is saying right now, we have a little bit of Dr. Frankenstein going on over here. We have Frankenstein's creation, and a little bit of snips and snails and puppy dog tails. So, yeah. So after seeing the preview for next week, I kind of let go my gripe with the episode. So, what do you guys think is going to happen with that? Do you think Zoe's still going to be accepting of him? Do you think that's going to put a strain on their quote-unquote relation? Or was she just so torn apart with his death that she's going to be happy to see him alive in any form?
I think the first reaction is going to be freaked the hell out.
Yeah.
Because, she's still new to this whole witchy world. So, seeing someone she knows is dead, alive, walking around with possible stitches holding it together, that's going to be a shock. Maybe lead to eventual relief if, he still is himself and his personality and all his memories and stuff. Or it could just be abject horror. I don't know. It can go many ways. That can go many ways, too.
Yeah.
If he's already dead, she can't kill him.
This is true.
True. Ooh, true. Perfect match made in heaven right there.
So needless to say, we will all be tuning in next week to watch this.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that about does it for this week. Umi, where can the people find you?
Twitter at LadyVenom24. LadyVenom 24.
And Mike.
At Twitter at Thilladren, Thilladren.
Okay, and you can follow us on youtube.com/ASOTV podcasts for more of your favorite, for some of your favorite podcasts, not TV shows. Not all of them, because that's just way too much. We're pretty much doing what we watch, so. Yeah, we have a lot of shows, so check us out on there. You might find some of your favorites. Until next week, see you guys later.